Meteorologist Kyle Mounts here with you. We're barely into the fall season, but a lot of buzz already happening about winter and what we can expect. Of course, the season will officially arrive December 21st, so we got a little bit of time, but it's always nice to have an idea as to what is coming our way. And with the Climate Prediction Center putting out new outlooks here in the middle of October, we're going to go ahead and take a sneak peek at that. And here's a look at what their temperature outlook is calling for, and it says equal chances, and that means there's no real indication to say that we will have cooler or warmer temperatures than average. So we're going to be looking at some of the longer term scale of things, and we'll talk about that in a second. Precipitation wise, contrary to what we've heard from some other outlooks, but this doesn't shift a whole lot from what the Climate Prediction Center was saying earlier in the year, calling for drier than average conditions around central Indiana. But here's one of the things that we look at: La Nina, El Nino, and the shift in the jet stream here. That can be a large player in our winter weather. And this year, there's been the expectation that El Nino could develop. We still haven't seen that happen, but could see a weak El Nino develop later on as we go through the year and a little closer to and through the winter season. But typical El Nino pattern across the U.S., it takes that Pacific jet stream well down to the south. That allows some of that cooler air to spill in, so maybe a few more cool spells, but also drier than average conditions. Now, checking with the National Weather Service here in Indianapolis, a weak El Nino typically for Indianapolis does bring in slightly below average temperatures and snowfall just a bit on the above average side. Of course, can't forget last year where we more than doubled our average snowfall at over 55.5 inches. A repeat of that is highly unlikely. You can see there we get a little closer to 25.9 inches in a typical year. So what I think we're going to have to look at is much like what we had last winter. There's not going to be a real big strong signal for the season. We're going to have to wait until we get a little bit closer, 1 to 2 weeks out, and we get some of these smaller scale patterns to give us an indication as to what's coming down in the shorter term. So that kind of gives you a broad idea of what to expect for the winter as a whole. We're certainly going to have some storm systems in there, some cool snaps, some warming trends in there as well. But last winter, pretty harsh. Should not be the winter that we have coming our way here as we go through the 14-15 season.